Hi, ladies and germs, and welcome to Timmy Talk. I'm your host, Timmy.
No, stop. I did not approve this message.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another Tim and Katie live stream. As per usual, we're going to act like this is our first live stream ever, forget everything we've ever learned about technology, and screw a bunch of stuff up. Tuesday.
Let us know if you can hear us, because we messed that up before, too.
I have like a preview on, and I can hear us. So
okay,
I think we're okay. But if anyone hears different, please let me know.
Yep.
So, more to talk about. There's always a lot to talk about, but in this case, we've got like enough content stored away right now that we're good until like August,
Yep.
early September even. Like by the time we get done talking about this trip, it'll be spooky season. That's how much content we have to share.
Yep. And
So-
if we had tried to say everything we wanted to say in the last live stream, it probably would have been well over 3 hours, and we don't want to do that, and y'all definitely didn't want to listen to that. Because I think we were like an hour.
We were
40?
almost 2, yeah.
Yeah, with
So
just Europa Park.
I will take you all through what we talked about last time. If you're new to the channel and you're just stumbling across this live stream for the first time, this is 2 of 3. So we've done 1 of 3. We'll do 3 of 3 in 2 weeks' time. And in between, we're releasing the actual vlogs from our trip to Germany, which is what this live stream series is all about. We've already put out a travel vlog and a Europa Park Day 1 vlog. That was the first destination of 4, technically, on this trip. We'll take you through kind of like the whole itinerary on our way here, but just to give you just kind of an idea of what you're getting yourselves into tonight, or perhaps later if you're rewatching on the back burner. That's what we're talking about. So last week we talked a lot about Europa Park, and that filled up, as Katie said, like 2 hours all on its own. This week we're going to have a different focus, and I will take you through that as soon as I take you through the obligatory stuff. So our socials, if you're not following us, Tim and Katie on Facebook. YouTube is obviously our primary. That is our lifeblood, and that's where all our content is going to go. Blue Sky, I sometimes forget we have. I want to work on it. I really do. It seems like a great platform. However, I forget it exists sometimes. So the Real Tim and Katie on Instagram is probably our second most active presence. And then Threads, we are also the Real Tim and Katie because that just migrated over from Instagram.
Yep.
Sometimes we share like funny sassy bits on Threads, but for the most part, it's just carried over from Facebook. And our website is timandkatie.net. It's not up to date yet, but it hopefully will be after a couple of weeks of being home from Germany, which we're coming up on.
Yes.
So that's something we got to work on. So if you missed the previous installments, I guess it's been 2 live streams now talking about this, because we did before we left, like a trip forecast, and now we were doing like the wrap up or the trip reports. So I'll take you through the really high level of what we did and what we experienced. The ultimate destinations of this trip were Europa Park and Phantasialand. We went to Europa Park first because we flew into Zurich, Switzerland, and then took a car to transfer from Zurich to Rust. Mm-hmm. And by the way, there's been some contention over how to pronounce that. So I am going to stick with Rust because that is what I was told. However, if someone living in Rust thinks that it is not pronounced Krust and wants to correct me, Please do. I'm not good at pronunciation. I've probably butchered it 7 ways to Sunday already. It's too late for the vlogs, but you can save the live streams. So we went from Zurich to Rust to do Europa Park. We also, on the same trip, did Rulantica, which is the water park. This is primarily what we're going to be talking about tonight, in addition to some of the Europa Park hotels, which we definitely did not get to last week. And then we went on to Phantasialand, which is in Brühl, and that is 4 hours roughly north of Rust. So we transferred by car. We have several vlogs coming from Phantasialand yet to be edited, so that's on the way. And then finally, we took a detour into Cologne so that we could spend some time kind of immersing ourselves in German culture as well as their theme parks. We like to travel. We like to do theme parks. We try to do a little column A, little column B when we travel so that we get a little taste of what the actual culture is like, in addition to the awesome coaster credits at various theme parks around the world.
Yep.
What's up, Zoe?
Hey.
Hey. Hey.
Nope, that's enough.
Cinemark Movie Club.
I've seen that movie club commercial way too many times.
Whoa. We just do movie
No.
All right. So,
legit have gone to the movies like 4 times since we came back.
There's been a lot of good movies this summer. We can talk about that for an hour too.
Yep. Next live stream.
So, tonight we are going to be honing in on Rulantica and the Europa Park hotels. Now, we talked a lot about Europa Park last live stream, and honestly, like, it totally blew us away. We have nothing but good things to say about Europa Park on the whole. And Rulantica is the sister park to Europa. It's the water park that is right on Europa Park grounds. It's a huge, expansive resort between Rulantica, the hotels, and Europa Park itself. And it has plenty of room to expand further, by the way, because Mach and the Mach family, they own just so much land out there. Like, there will all be something cool to go back to because they're constantly building. So Rulantica is a relatively new installation. I think it's
2019.
Yeah.
Or 2020.
It's recent.
Yeah.
And every year they add something new. This year they added 2 new attractions. We did both of them. I think we only have a picture of one. One of them was genuinely awful for me personally. So we'll talk about all of that. But we wanted to hone in on Rulantica and the Europa Park hotels because last week we had so much to say about the park and just the park that we couldn't fit anything else in.
No.
So we're still, in terms of like our timeline and our trip, we are still in Rust. We are still exploring what Europa Park has to offer outside the park gates. Mm-hmm. And Rulantica is a whole thing unto itself, but we'll also touch on like our hotel stays and some of the things. And there's a lot of overlap too with what we experienced at Europa for obvious reasons. Some of the amenities overlap. So if you were with us 2 weeks ago, you'll recognize some of the stuff we're going to talk about tonight. We had 1 day at Rulantica as opposed to the 3 days we spent in Europa Park proper. Now, there is a vlog coming, so we covered everything very thoroughly on this day. But we only had 1 day to do it all. And that meant that there were a lot of things that we didn't do.
Because, we had to prioritize.
Because there are, like, there's tons and tons and tons of attractions in this water park. I think the total count is 25 plus. A lot of them are slides within this complex that you see here.
Like they count that this is kind of like a themed area in itself. This
I wrote it down.
Attraction. It
is Falgarok.
Falgarok.
A dragon-themed aqua gymnasium which features several different slides.
And there's like 7 slides on it.
Lap pools.
There's some fake out slides.
Oh,
like
100%.
Some things that look like they could be slides, but they're not. It's kind of fakes you out. But
within this structure alone, I think we did like 5, 6. I mean, we don't count slide credits like we do coaster credits. We could, but we don't because it would be agonizing.
It also was a very hot summer day.
Yes.
It was busy and there were lines forming on the gymnasium itself. So by the time I waited in like 2 kind of longer lines for slides, I was like, I think I'm good. I'm going to let the kiddos have this. It's fun to look at. It's very well themed. What's really cool about this, which I know we captured for the vlog, is there's like a dragon head that will spit water at you. It's an animatronic outside, basically.
This is the only aqua gymnasium I've ever seen, maybe will ever see, that actually has animatronics built in, like living creatures built into the gym. Like it, so I think you were going to say this. I'm sorry, I cut you off. But like, it's the dragon head at the top. The whole thing is made to look like a dragon swirling around like a bunch of boats. So at the very, very top, the dragon head has like pumps in it. And at seemingly, it's probably on an interval of some sort, but at seemingly random times to the untrained eye, it will come alive and just look around and then shoot water at people.
And we did stay late enough, not super late, but we did stay late enough for it to start to get a little bit darker, and you could actually see that the eyes glow, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then there also was, of course, the big bucket that dumps water, which seems to be kind of the standard for these indoor or outdoor water park gymnasium contraptions.
Everything, I was going to say every attraction, but like also like restaurants and whatnot, like every single thing at Europa Park has a story, has a lore, has like something to set it up to make you feel more immersed. And Rulantica is no different. Like we were watching, if you're in a Europa Park hotel, which we'll talk about, and you turn on the TV, there's 4 or 5 channels that's just Europa Park programming.
Yeah.
And within those 4 or 5 channels, like, yes, there's basic information like the park is open X hours today. The weather is X today. But there's also like narrative shorts that are like CGI animated. And the one short that we watched had like Snorri the octopus, who is the mascot of Rulantica, coming across this structure. And the dragon being like awake and alive and like trying to dismay him from climbing up onto the aqua gymnasium by like, you know, forcing him down the slide, shooting water at him, and so on and so forth. So like this whole structure, like by the time we actually got there and we saw the dragon's head actually moving, I was like, man, it's nothing like I've ever seen before. Like it is, they just like put so much time and imaginative effort into every single attraction on every single square inch or meter of property.
And they definitely, Rulantica has a very like Nordic theme to it.
Mm-hmm. That's why we can't pronounce any of the names.
I was just going to say, like, if you were already struggling to pronounce like German things, now they throw like very like Swedish, Nordic names at you. And but very good for immersion. You do, you know, kind of feel like you're at some sort of Viking style fantasy land with dragons and big ice sculptures and fun talking octopuses and stuff. It's very, very cool.
So there's an outdoor side to this park, which you're looking at now, but not in its entirety. Right. And then there's I would say probably a slight majority of the attractions right now are inside. And they're expanding to include more indoor attractions because as of now, this theme park, water park, but really theme park too, is open year round. Right. So they're trying to add more and more every season indoors or close to indoors so that you have more things to do during the winter time if you visit Europa Park for like, you know, January.
And I'm curious to see because I think even some of the outdoor pools with like the swim up bars may even be open in the winter now because they seem to have like a flap kind of exit where in previous like resort stays where we've been at like all year round resorts, they probably can actually heat the water so that you can swim outside even in the winter and enjoy it.
You don't have to walk around the outside perimeter of the pool to get in.
I can't imagine that this particular structure is open in the winter, and I'm kind of hoping that they don't enclose it because I like that it's in the open air. But yeah, they really do want to have as much of their park available during all seasons as possible.
So bear in mind that I think that for the life of me, I can't remember the number. I think I'm just confusing it with Europa, but I believe there's 25 plus is what we had written down, like attractions total. I would say like at least probably 9 of them are part of this structure.
Yeah,
like there's all different slides for all different types of people and different like swimmer skill and whatnot. And a lot of them are affixed to the structure. So like you can see maybe at the bottom left there, like a couple of slides that have like the trough at the bottom. There's a couple of like not like drop slides that drop you down vertically, but that drop you into the pool at the bottom, which is a little bit different. There's all kinds of different attractions built onto this one structure. However, there's a lot of
slide in here. I'm sorry to cut you off
okay.
as well that you can't really tell, but it does, and I was gonna wait in line for this one but decided not to, but it actually is like drops you into a bit of like a whirlpool, like big bowl
Yeah.
and then you go into the whirlpool and then you get released. So it's kind of, I've seen those before for like big rafts, and we actually kind of did one similar to that in the actual park with a inner tube, but this
what
was
I
just
don't
a
like
slide.
about the body slide version is that ultimately it's just going to empty you, like drop you straight down into the standing water. That's how that one works.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have done that one, but I was gonna watch Katie do it.
Yeah, it obviously was popular, and I was like, yeah, we have so much to do today. I don't think I'm gonna wait in a line for this.
Most of the attractions do allow cameras, but with very specific harnesses, and not the kind of harnesses that you would expect. For a lot of what we did on this day,
we had to use
what I call doofus cam. It's where the head strap that just kind of like it. I mean, you walk around with like a little camera on your head. It looks really weird, but we did, I think, get pretty decent footage of most of what we did. Now, again, we didn't do it all. So like even within this structure, we spent a good chunk of time outside and we didn't get anywhere close to everything done on this. It was crowded, as Katie said, so some of it was just like, we don't feel like waiting in the lines to get on this one slide that looks kind of childish. But it also comes down to like, you only have the time you have, especially if you only have one day. So we took a look. We tried to do like kind of a basic tour of the property, and we got a little bit of everything, but there's definitely some stuff we missed. So this vlog, ultimately, if we stick to our schedule, and we might not, so I don't want to hold myself to it, but if we stick to our schedule, this vlog should be out in a couple of weeks, not this Friday, but next Friday. And then you'll be able to see a little bit more of what we're talking about. But the high level is lots to do indoor, outdoor. Sfogel Rock is where a lot of these attractions are mounted. And it's really, really cool. If the weather is nice, you should step outside and check it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Also outdoors, brand new for 2025.
Yes.
Swimapool. I know I'm butchering it. Summer pool is how it's spelled, but it's Nordic, so that can't. It
kind of reminds me of like summer pool and also like swim up bar combined.
So it's a combination of like, I mean, it is meant to look like a Nordic swim up bar, and that's exactly what it looks like. But it's a combination of like natural environment and rock work and like a standardized, like underneath what you see there is the platform with the grassy roof is just a stand-up swim-up bar with ergonomic chairs with like jets that will, I mean, it's very relaxing.
The ergonomic chairs were like
on the other side, yes, but it's part of the area. Yeah. So like it's a very relaxing area, or it's intended to be. When it gets packed, just like everywhere else. And it was packed that day for a little bit. We found a nice spot that was unfortunately right in the sun. So we didn't spend as much time in here as we might have if it wasn't quite as crowded. But it's a really, and this is the area you were talking about that they just added with the heated pool.
Yeah,
so that
I think you can see. So the big kind of tented structure is an attraction I'm sure we'll talk about eventually. It's the splash battle.
After this, yeah.
It's the splash battle, which used to be uncovered, but recently has now been covered. And then you can see they've kind of made like a glass walkway to the pool. And I think ideally you should be able to like walk through the splash pad and walk into like into the pool and then through like a partition. I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll close it off in the winter time. But I'm like, I don't know why they would have covered it if they didn't intend for it to be used in the winter time. But that area is for where people can like leave their shoes.
Well, summer pool's brand new. Summer pool wasn't there last year.
That's what I'm saying. If they covered it, why wouldn't they intend to use it later?
Yeah. Okay, we're on the same page. I misinterpreted.
Yeah, but I think this was the area where like the rock art was, where you could. Did they have like the little puffins on here, or am I remembering?
No, you're correct. There were some
cute like puffins.
I don't know if they were animatronics. I think they were more like the Living Seas rock work out front of Epcot. Like they're just there and they make some noises sometimes. But there is like, there's a lot of kinetic energy at Rulantica. Like it is a really beautiful park, indoor and outdoor. And if you don't know me, if you're tuning into a live stream for the first time, weird first choice, but leaving that aside, I'm not a huge water park guy. I don't love getting wet. Just in general, I love looking at waterfalls and water features, rapids, rivers, all that, but I don't like being in them as much. And I had a blast here. Like, there's so much to see and do. I think the theming of Rulantica as a whole, just like Europa Park, kind of negates any negative feelings that I would have about the water itself. Now, I will say there is one exception. There is one exception, and that's what we were gonna. You were touching on this, and I'm like, I don't really have a slide for this, but it's in the vlog. So inside the summer pool area, this on the left-hand side here, you can see this big, what looks like an atrium or a glass tent. That is the splash battle, and that I actually believe that the splash battle was there, or may have been added.
It was there.
It's recent, but it's not that recent.
I think it was maybe the last year or two. It was there, and it was uncovered.
It was all outdoors. So they built a glass enclosure around it so that it could operate during the winter months, which is really cool. I mean, like, it shows like forethought that they're like trying to slowly but surely add more to do indoors over time. So the splash battle, if you've been to Epic Universe, even if you're not familiar with this concept anywhere else at any other theme parks, you should be at least moderately familiar with the concept of a bunch of ride vehicles rolling around, coming into direct contact and line of fire with other ride vehicles, and everyone on the ride vehicles cranking a hose or a cannon to shoot water at other people on the different ride vehicles. Now, the difference with this particular splash battle is that it's more of a flat ride than it is a water ride. It's very wet, so don't take the wrong assumption away from that. But it operates in the same way that Danse Macabre does at Efteling. It rolls around in concentric circles, so wherever you are placed, you're going to come up against the same 2 or 3 barrels over and over again with the same people on them. I did not have the most wonderful experience on this splash battle because there was this maybe 8 to 11-year-old kid across from me that had just like laser focused on my head. And like, he got me every single time I came around, right in the face. And there's nothing you can do. I mean, you can duck or you can move your head a little bit, but like, you can't really avoid getting shot if you're coming right up against someone who has like the form down. So if you love to get wet and you're competitive and you put someone like Katie and I went in different barrels so that we could, try to target each other. And I had some success with this, but not quite as much success as this 8 to 11-year-old did. Like, it's not unfun, but it's not for me.
I think it's fun as an option for a water park. I may not jump on doing any. My problem with it is I had just put my sunscreen on my face.
Oh, yeah.
So immediately getting shot in the face with water guns just caused all the sunscreen to run into my eyes. And I was like, I probably would have not done that if I had realized what would happen. But I do think it's a cool option, and it was never busy. Like, there was never a line for it. I don't know if people
like a small one, but it was like
it was
the
compared
capacity,
to some of the other big slides.
Oh yeah, because the slides only take maximum 4 people at a time, depending on the slide. But the splash battle takes about 25.
Get like 25 people on it.
So every time the line moved, it moved in a big chunk. Yep. So, and yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people, because it is newer and because it's in an area that looks a little different than it used to, I think some people are just not as aware that it's there. If they
did it that day, then they might not go back and do it again.
It's more of a one and done. Like, you're not going to go back probably and do over and over again.
I do think it's cool to have at a water park. Granted, I haven't been to a whole lot of them. Maybe it's becoming more standard, but I had never seen one of those in a water park.
I've seen a lot of them in theme parks.
Yeah.
Like,
but they're usually like the kind where the boats go through a path.
They go through a path, and then they have contact points.
You encounter a boat and you spray, and then you go through the path and you encounter a boat and spray.
The flat sequence is a little bit newer, at least as far as we've seen. But yeah, I mean, it's cool. Again, I think it's a cool piece of technology. It's just maybe not for me.
You just don't appreciate opportunities to get like totally splashed in the face with water.
It's mostly my face. Yeah. Like, if it was like me being splashed from the side, I would be like, ah, and then I'd move on. But like, I am. Once you have water up your nose, like, that's kind of your day, So be aware if you're going to do that. That's a thing that happens. Now, not pictured in any of these slides, I don't think, are like the kids play areas, because there were a lot of them, but also like we don't want to like sneak up and be creepy. So that's not, I think we have like the smallest amount of footage in the Rulantica vlog, like just kind of depicting where the kids areas are and what you can kind of do with them. But like for the most part, those areas are very busy. And we don't have kids, so we didn't spend a whole lot of time in those areas. They do exist. If you're watching this because you want to know what Rulantica looks like and what it offers, like there's plenty for young kids to do. But we spend most of our time in obviously like the older crowds and adult only areas of the park.
Yeah, there's also like a dry playground out there.
Yes,
for kids, which is kind of fun.
Yep, if you have a kid that does not like getting wet, like
or
me.
If you're done with the water for the day and you want to let them dry off for a little bit, they can run around and still play.
Yep.
One thing before we leave that area that I think I just realized we didn't include in the slideshow, but will be in the vlog. There were roaming characters in this water park.
Oh yeah,
roaming characters. Like I was so shocked by that. There was this one like really cool old lady fisherwoman that you will definitely see. I don't know who she is.
I'm going to refer to her as the traveling merchant until someone tells me she has a name. But she was very interactive.
There was.
I mean, she didn't say a word because she was a puppet character.
It was so cool. The costume was amazing. I really enjoyed that. There were pirates roaming around. We did get to meet Snorri, as you can see from the thumbnail. And so it was very cool. Yeah, and I think the pirate was running around with like a water gun and shooting unsuspecting people with a water gun. It was really, really cute.
Yeah.
So very cool. Didn't expect it, didn't know that was a thing. But something I really enjoyed.
Indeed. And those, I mean, I know we kind of locked them into this slide because this is the area where we found like the roaming merchant woman.
Yeah, they were inside too.
They were all over the place.
Yeah,
so like it's not just this one area.
But that's what I was thinking about this area, and I was like, oh, the cool fisherwoman lady with the nets and she was cool.
Yes. So the only other outdoor attraction that I thought, apart from the kids splash areas, that I thought like deserved some attention, let me try not to butcher this. I wrote it down so that I wouldn't, but I probably will anyway. Wildstrom.
That sounds about right.
So this is half, I would say, whitewater rafting meets body slide meets lazy river. It's a little bit of everything, and I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. It might be more common in European parks. I don't know. We haven't been to that many. But I will say that this experience was unlike anything I'd done before, and I think that you've done before.
No.
You don't move. So this is a loop, but it's a choose your own adventure kind of loop. There's a couple different paths you can take as you go through, and there are areas of whitewater that are a little bit rougher, and then there are areas that are very smooth and easy going. And it's all like what you see there, like the slide with I don't know what it's called, what the material is at the bottom, but it feels like rubber.
Kind of slick.
Slicking, yeah.
Yeah.
As you're going through, you either have to slide on your back or your belly. Because if you sit upright, you will not move.
You'll just stop.
The weight of your body will keep, it's very shallow.
You need to kind of semi-float down it. So that's why back or stomach is better. I think I had the head mount on for this one.
Yes.
And I started on my back, and then I kept wanting to look up and look at stuff and stopping. So I did eventually kind of Superman my way down. And I think if you're not afraid of water splashing your face, that is the way to go. You can, of course, go down on your butt/back.
Which is what I did.
You just might.
But if you move slower.
If you don't maintain some level of speed, you end up having kids run into the back of you, because there's no this is managed by a red light green light system, and basically it was green go,
which is fairly successful, and there were lifeguards posted along the route, obviously,
but
because it's hard to drown in water this shallow, but someone will find a way.
Yeah.
So the lifeguards were posted in tactical spots.
Right.
However, what you're talking about, like when you line up to get on and off the ride, because there is a dedicated start and end point, and
Yes.
you do eventually have to go all the way around.
Right.
It's green light for go at the start, and then it's red light for stop, and then green light for the next person to go. A lot of those slides function that way too.
Yeah.
It's self-managed to an extent.
Yes. So that's why if you don't maintain some level of speed, someone already got the green light behind you and is going to end up running into you. So, choose your own destiny, I suppose. I think if I ever did this slide again, I'd probably just be like, let's go and Superman my way down. And I don't mind water splashing in my face, so it's fine. It was cool though.
We tried to hit this one before the sunset so that you'd be able to see a little bit more, because it is outdoors, and I think it is open. Rulantica's open pretty late as compared to Europa Park. Rulantica's open until almost 10 p.m. in the summertime.
It was 10 p.m. Yeah.
So sun doesn't set early in Europe in the summertime. However, it does gradually get darker and darker and darker from like 6 p.m. on. So we went and hit this around 4 o'clock, and it looked about like that middle picture there. All of this is stock photography, by the way, or taken from the website. So yeah, it was an interesting experience and one that I think I recommend. However, it is not a traditional water slide, so like it's hard to describe in water slide terms. Overwhelming majority of the attractions at Rulantica are indoors. The lazy river, which does have some less lazy portions where you are either dodging Snorri's attacks or you're getting very wet. Snorri's Saga is the lazy river, and it's all indoor, and it winds its way around the massive indoor section of Rulantica. So it's a good long ride. The line gets a little bit longer halfway through the day because the tubes are only available until everyone's in them. Once everyone's in them and if you want to sit in the tube all day, I think they'd let you, but every time you go around another loop is someone in line who's not getting a tube.
Yeah. So
we did 2 loops and then we threw the tubes back because it looked like there was starting to be a backup. It's a pretty interesting, it is like a dark ride, lazy river. I think it is probably one of the better lazy rivers we've ever done. It does have like a little bit of a story, like Snorri is taking you on a journey. If you've done the Aquamouse water slide on the Disney cruise ship, which is I think on 2 now, similar to that, but I think this is better because this has animatronics.
I think the Aquamouse is more of like a water slide with screens.
It's a water slide dark ride.
It's water slide.
Aquamouse tells a story. This has screens. Let's not lie. Like this has screens.
I would say I've never done it, but my impression is the Aquamouse is a water slide dark ride. This is a lazy river dark ride. Like it's way more. You're going through caves. You've got elements coming at you. I would say it's a bit more. I mean, I don't think they could do this on a cruise ship. Don't get me wrong.
The Aqueduct.
But
I think the Aqueduct is not the dark ride, though. I think that's just like going through the tube. I could be wrong. I think the Aquamouse is the first dark ride.
I'm gonna turf that back. Yes, I think it's more like the Volcano Bay Lazy River. I don't know. We haven't done it, but from like videos, it's definitely like more immersive and impressive there. And
all right, so it's halfway between the Volcano Bay Lazy River and the Little Mermaid dark ride, if you're looking at Central Florida. I would say it is a genuine, I mean, again, there's vlog coming, we have clips of it, but it is like a genuine dark ride experience that you take at your own pace because you float leisurely down the river. The water moves at the speed it moves, but like you get a narrative experience to go along with your floating down the lazy river experience. There's music, there's lights, there's a story that's being told by Snorri the octopus. And as it turns out, if you go around more than once, sometimes you actually see Snorri the octopus.
Oh my gosh, that was so exciting.
Live performer. So that was interesting. We saw like 3 different versions of Snorri this day.
Yeah.
In terms of character.
It's just very exciting.
There's also, of course, slides indoors. This is actually a look at 3 different slides.
Right.
2 of which are body slides, as you can see with the line there. The big dragon is actually part of the bigger slide. If I take the live badge off, you'll be able to see.
Yeah, it's one of those like clover leaf kind of slides where you can sit.
That's the raft vehicle,
Yeah.
ride vehicle, whatever we want to call it. It's
Our frame of reference is Colossal
Colossal
Curl
Curl.
from Busch Gardens Water Country, or I guess just Water Country.
Yeah.
But there are, I know like a lot of water parks, even like your Cedar Fair and your Six Flags water parks, have a slide like this where you go up a very steep incline.
It's a huge, scary bank that puts you almost parallel with the bottom or the floor of the slide. Gravity keeps you together, but I will say, as compared to Water Country, where maybe they do have, sorry, I'm throwing things. Maybe they do have stricter regulations that we've never seen or experienced ourselves, but they're very particular about the weight distribution on this particular raft.
Yeah.
And they will not let you on as a 3 or a 1. You have to have an even number that distributes your weight. You also have to sit a certain way depending on how many people you have.
You can get in line as a single rider, as a group of 3, and they may try to pair you up, but your weight might take a lot longer. So your best bet is to be a group of 2 or a group of 4. And then if you are a group of 4, they'll try to match you with like a more even weight on either side. So
Yes.
if you're like 2 parents and 2 kids, they'll put like the parents on opposite sides and the kids on opposite sides or something
And there's
like that.
only select slides that this kind of like weight distribution applies to, because obviously with the body slides it doesn't matter, and there's a lot more body slides and mat slides than there are these like raft slides. But there are 2 big raft slides like this. This one is Winterit, and I think the other is Storm something. And we did them both to do them. The wait for one was a little bit longer than the other, but they were both long waits. So if you're a single or a trio,
Yeah.
it's going to take even longer, which
I
may
think
not be worth it.
We waited like a maximum of maybe 25 to 30 minutes for one of them and only like 15 for the other one. We were trying to watch the wait times a little bit.
Yeah.
And when it started dropping, we tried to get in line, but it depends on how many groups of 4 versus pairs are getting on. You know, you just it's hard. I think it's harder to estimate, you know, how long it's going to take. But I like these kind of slides. Tim hates them. They're too scary.
I don't
But-
hate them. I hate doing them.
right,
I
that-
love looking at them.
Yeah.
Most of these slides, you only get a small section of them to like see visually inside. A lot of them poke their heads outside and then come back inside.
Yeah.
So these are all tube slides. They're enclosed. They can operate easily during the winter months. And the point here that I wanted to make by including all of this is that there's something for everyone at Rulantica. There's a lot of thrill attractions, which I would classify all of these to be. And then there's a bunch of like smaller attractions that are
It depends on what
calmer,
kind of day you
easier
have.
going.
You can swim in plenty of pools. You can do the lazy river. You can do smaller slides. You can just try different drinks at the swim up bars all day. I mean, I do think
Speaking of the swim up bars,
yeah, there's another one. This pool was really pretty.
Yeah.
This
This
was a
is-
really pretty pool.
so this is giving me ET vibes, to take it back to Central Florida again. Like this, when we walked up on this, I was like, this is definitely the best looking of all the pools. And it is a pool. Like it's a
It's like
chill
a
area. It's got like
grotto.
one like pump that like shoots a fountain up and you can get closer to that and enjoy it. But there's also like waterfalls and whatnot. Like it is a Discovery Cove style pool enclosure with a swim up bar. The only difference is that it's got like ET trees up around it instead of
Yeah,
like
it was-
palm trees. But
The evergreen trees.
Skog Lagoon is this one, and it's one of several different swim up bars with associated or attached pools, including the summer pool. Summer pool. I don't know. That's outside that we already talked about. This was my favorite of the lot, though.
Yeah, the theming in here is great. There's like a little grotto area that switches back and forth from being like jets on your back to like this big like massive boiling cauldron in the middle. It's hard to describe. It's in the vlog if you're curious when it comes out in a couple weeks. One thing that I did really like about Rulantica is it's very clear that they're like, this is a park to be enjoyed by all ages. You can be adults with no kids and you're welcome and you can enjoy it. You can be a family with teenagers, you're welcome, you can enjoy it. You can be a family with little ones, enjoy it. You bring a bunch of your friends, it did seem like it was not like I didn't feel like we were imposing as two adults with no kids on the theme park.
No, absolutely not. They do, just like Europa Park, they do cater to a wide audience range.
Yeah.
I think they're, just to take it back to studs, there's something for everyone.
Yep.
That is the running theme across, I would say, all 3 of the parks we visited. But Rulantica in particular, I think because everything's closer together, it's much easier to see that, like, when you walk in, you see almost everything immediately, and you're like, oh, this is going to be a fun day.
It's going to be,
no matter what
it's going to be a fun day. You're just like, wow.
So speaking of fun for you, this is one of your favorite types of attractions.
I like the mat slides. I just find them fun. I feel like you're just kind of like surfing, even though I don't really surf or anything. I enjoy these. I even like the one at Water Country. But this one was really cool because it's themed to like a gem mine.
Yeah, if we go back to Central Florida terms again, or even Disneyland terms, like this is the, what is it, Nitro Racer at Water Country.
Nitro Racer meets Seven Doors Mine Train.
Meets Seven Doors Mine Train.
And
it is exactly as bananas cool as it sounds.
Yeah, it's very pretty.
And it's one of the longest mat slides, I think.
It is long because it starts inside and then the slides definitely like go outside for a little bit and then you go back inside. I'm more used to them just kind of being like you start at the top and go to the bottom. But this one's really cool. It's so pretty on the inside and the tubes. Everything's like jewel tones. It is a race. It is a racing slide, so it counts down, and then you go, and whoever wins or whatnot. But
it's up to like 8 racing at the same time.
It was down for part of the day, which was disappointing because we tried to do it then, but we were able to get on not long before we wanted to leave. So I was really grateful. I thought this one was very cool. So I did wear my little doofus cam, so
there will be a
POV of it, at least in the video, but I'm sure Zoe, you can find one online as well. Very pretty. The thing to be prepared about this slide is because it's so long, I felt like I was climbing Mount Everest to get to the top. It was just so many stairs. So just take a deep breath before you go up, and know that the reward is coming.
Probably carry that recommendation over to most of the other slides too. There may be elevators somewhere for accessibility, but for the most part, you're going to be walking upstairs every time.
I'm afraid we can't comment on that. Yeah. I have no idea what the accessibility is.
It's a lot of steps. To do all the slides. When we didn't do all the slides, but we did, I think, all the big slides, like all the top tier.
The other thing that was about this one is there was no line for it. Like, it had just reopened and people didn't realize it was open. So I just could keep walking. When there's a line and you go up a few steps and you stop, and you go up a few steps and you stop, that's different. When you're just like hiking up, it's a lot more cardio. So just note that it was totally worth it. I would have done it again, but I didn't have the energy to do the stairs again, and we had more things we wanted to squeeze in
towards the end of our day.
It was towards the end of the day.
But yeah, we
had a couple more things.
Got to do this partially because it went down for so long. Like, we only got to do this one once, but it was cool.
Very cool.
And this is classified, I think, more as a traditional slide than a body slide.
I mean, it's called a mat. I think it is a mat. I think the industry-wide
is a mat slide. But in terms of like because on the body slides you can't take anything with you camera-wise, but on this you can as the head mount.
Yeah, the head mount was.
So there's only a couple slides that don't allow for that camera at all. A lot of them do allow camera on the doofus cam mount. Mm-hmm. Some of them outdoors or the smaller slides you can take, like the wrist mount or the grip stick. Yeah. But you can't take selfie sticks anywhere. So when I say grip stick, I mean like a short, non-extending,
small flotation.
The floaty handle is what it's actually called, but not everyone's into that term. So it's just like a small stick. Anyway, this is a head mount one. So I think they classify it as thrilling, but not necessarily you need to be hands-free. Well, you do need to be hands-free, but you don't necessarily, you can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not as not as dangerous to have an article attached to you going down as it would be on a body slide, where you have to be able
right.
to
Well, the body slides, you just don't want anything to catch on the
Correct.
thing. This has you have a surface to go on.
You have a vehicle.
Yes, of course.
All right, food. This was not the pizza we ate, but I will tell you that when we were told Rulantica has really good food by our now good friend Yannick, who we spent all day with at Europa Park on our first day of the trip, we kind of raised an eyebrow because where we come from, water park and good food do not go together.
Not really.
Typically, and this is not a knock on anyone who really enjoys the food at Water Country, nor is it a knock on anyone who has really good food at their local water park. However, I have never once in my life eaten anything at a water park and been like, wow.
Yeah.
It's all been to...
I suppose this will sustain me.
Yeah, it's mostly to keep you alive as you go from one side to the next. Food at Rulantica was, as advertised, very, very good. I could not for the life of me find a picture of it. I could have probably extracted a still from our videos, but I didn't have the time. We had like this Greek hero pizza with like a drizzle on top
it
of
had like
yogurt sauce.
Hero lamb, like that
Oh my
shredded
God,
hero
it's
lamb,
so
Greek
good.
sauce. It was fresh.
And they gave us a fresh salad on the side too. Or
no,
we bought it. We bought it. Well, I don't remember everything. We got a salad. That's the main thing.
There was, I think the two main eating areas are like a burger joint, which we were like, pass. It's probably good, but pass. We were told to go to the pizza pasta place. The pasta looked good too. We just thought we could share one of these pizzas and that would be good enough. And it definitely was. They were definitely shareable, the pizzas. I did get the side salad as well. That's
why you went and bought the side salad separate from me. You were in a different line. So all I knew was I got back to the table and there was a pizza and salad.
Yes. So, yes,
well, that's coming.
Yes.
We did not do a hamburger.
We did not get hamburgers
that day.
We just were told.
But we had pizza.
Pizza pasta was the way to go at Rulantica. And I think we were right. First of all, everyone else was in line for burgers. That left the line for pizza pasta a lot shorter. The pasta line was the shortest, actually. But the pizza...
And I think the pasta probably would have been good,
I think it would have been good, too. But I think we made the right call for the pizza. It
was delicious.
They do give you the pizza. It is not, at least for us, I don't know if they've done this before, but for us, it was not sliced. So we had to grab a fork and a knife and cut pieces of it and split it ourselves. So, yes, Zoe, better than Beth's house.
Good God, if that's your floor.
It's way better than Beth's house.
Oh my God. We went to Busch Gardens this weekend, and we love Busch Gardens, but I hate Fest House now. Like, I will, no, absolutely not. That is a faux award. It's a shallow, and I do not accept it. I love going to Busch Gardens. Fest House could burn down tomorrow and I wouldn't miss it.
It's not my go-to place to eat it.
I will never go back to Fest House now that I've been to Germany, if I can help it.
This should be the third best theme park restaurant in the world. Right there. Rulantica Pizza.
There are so many layers and levels above Fest House.
Yeah. It's delicious. Definitely recommend 5 stars. 5 stars.
You forgot to mention the key thing that we brought a prop for.
Well, you didn't turn the camera on. We also got, you walked back. I walked back with salad. You walked back with pizza and this.
My Snorri cup.
Snorri. This is Snorri.
That's Snorri, the mascot.
Little troublesome octopus.
So in Rulantica, and I think as far as I saw at Europa, like only in Rulantica so far, we have Coca-Cola freestyle stations.
Yes.
Which in America, to some extent, we're somewhat used to, right? Roaming through theme parks. In Europe, it's a much different situation. There's not a whole lot of fountain drinks park-wide because for the most part, when you get a soda, it is a Coke park, but when you get a soda, you're being given like a glass bottle with a pop cap and you return it to the counter if you want to get some like money back on the.
Or a plastic bottle that
bottle that you walk away with as a souvenir cup.
You don't get a fountain drink.
In this one place across the entire resort property, you can get a refillable cup. Now it's only good for a certain number of refills. But it is the number of refills they give you amounts to all day.
Almost unlimited.
Unless you are like really thirsty and you just need to drink like so much right then. So they do not give you ice in the cups, but they give you like the freestyle stations have
ice.
Have an ice dispenser.
Yep.
Which is also different because normally, as you said, ice is harder to find.
I think when we've been at a restaurant, there were maybe 2 times where you actually got a cup, maybe 3 that you got a cup with ice.
As far as I know, they were both from the same place.
We're bringing this to Hershey Park next time we go.
It's a good cup. It's a good cup to have. Now, there's one more thing that we wanted to highlight about Rulantica, because as we said, like we would be here all night if we tried to do every single slide, every single attraction. Like there's a lot. We did not even touch the wave pool, and it looked like a great wave pool. And I know that other people have really enjoyed the wave pool. We didn't even get a chance to step foot in.
I literally don't even remember where the wave pool is.
It's literally the first thing you see when you walk in. It's like right there in front of you.
All I saw was like rocks.
You were like
and dragons.
3 days without sleep.
It was true. It was true. I was very tired.
80+ degrees in Spain with no cold water or AC. Yikes.
Oh, that sounds awful, Zoe. Yeah, it was hot in Germany. There was air conditioning.
It's hot currently in Maryland.
It's hot in Maryland too.
But it's actually as hot in Maryland now as it was in Europa during our first 2 days. Rulantica was the hottest day, but we spend
a water park.
Most of the time indoors. We went like outside the very beginning of the day to knock out everything, and then we came inside.
And the water was nice.
Yes.
Like it was
very even.
Everything was like felt good. It wasn't too hot. It wasn't too cold. The water felt nice.
You know what else felt very nice?
Ah!
Hagedal is an adults-only area. I believe you have to be 21 and up in order to enjoy the experience.
Adults only. Okay.
Now. Don't they say?
No, I just think it's a cool offering for a really cool family
offering.
Water park.
It provides a barrier. First of all, it provides a sound barrier because the windows that you can see there out into Rulantica offer an amazing view. They are not one way, so be aware of that.
Right.
But they are soundproof. So when you walk into Hagedal, which is the spa area, which is very clearly labeled, you can't miss it if you know what you're looking for. You walk in through the door, you go up some stairs, and immediately you start seeing signage that says, "This is a quiet area. Please keep your voices down." And so as you get higher up the stairs, like it gets quieter and quieter, and by the time you walk in, like there is no sound except for the gentle spa music and like the occasional whispers of the people next to you. It is, what do you say, €15 to access this area?
I think it was 12. It's a €12 upcharge to access Hagedal, and you can sit in like a lounger chair. But
we did a sofa.
It's €50 for 2 people, so it's 25 each if you're 2. If you're 1 person and you want a sofa, it's still 50 because it's 1 sofa. 2, and that gives you a little bit more space. It's more comfortable. If you're planning on spending a lot of time up there, we thought it was worth it, but you can just access the space for an extra €12, which I think is a pretty good deal.
And everything at Rulantica, I should have led with this, but everything at Rulantica is linked to a wristband. It's similar to Tapu Tapu at Volcano Bay. At the beginning of the day, you get a wristband handed to you when you scan your tickets, and that wristband keeps your credit card linked to it. It keeps track of all your purchases over the course of the day. Actually, doesn't keep your credit card linked to it. It links all your purchases to the band itself.
And then when you check out,
the band tells you how much you owe, and at that time, you have to present.
So your Hagedal upcharge is on your
part
band.
Of your. You have to do it either at the beginning of the day or you have to pay at the counter. Which they have like a consumer-facing counter and a prepaid walk-in counter. It's all run around, and you have to go through turnstiles to access the spa.
Yeah.
So your Rulantica band, don't lose it. Keep it attached to you very securely, because it will be necessary for everything you want to do that day in terms of like making extra purchases, merch, getting your Snorri cup or the food, and accessing Hagedal, because all of that is scanned.
It is dangerous though, because you feel like you're
not spending anything
by tapping. So just be prepared to like pay the piper when you're done.
At the end, I mean, we did do Hagedal as an upcharge, which was not cheap. But I think at the end of the day, we maybe spent like €85, which translates to USD. I mean, the value of the dollar is not great.
This was like €24 itself. You thought it was only 15. It was not.
Yeah, but it was worth it because I did get multiple fillings out of it. And Coke Zero is pretty easy to come by, but it always comes in small portions because of just the European standard. So having the freestyle cup is basically like bottomless for the first time the whole trip, and I was making good use of it.
Yeah. So Hagedal is not only just a quiet area to sit. You're gonna say like, why pay $50 for that? And by the way, there are other areas you can pay for an upcharge to get like a cabana-like area that are inside the park.
But they're not quiet.
But they're not quiet because you're inside the big dome. This is also, it's adults only, of course. It is an actual like sauna spa. Like you go through a door and you can go to various like fancy showers. There's cedar saunas, there's steam saunas, there's outdoor tanning areas.
I made a post on Instagram with a carousel. If you follow us on Instagram at The Real Tim and Katie, there's a Hagedal, like a quick look at like all the different things. Now, obviously, if you go into the spa, it is full nude.
Yeah,
so
I didn't
take any pictures in there.
Since I was the one who actually did it, I was going to talk about it.
Oh, you can. I was just going to say like that's not part of the carousel, but everything else that we saw and experienced in there, it was pretty quiet in terms of like crowds that day. So
it wasn't busy at all. There were like maybe by the end of the day, like 3 couples had actually rented the sofas. It was very quiet. There is your own like bar up there where you can get drinks or water or cola or whatever you want.
And some snacks, but not
very clean, quiet bathrooms to use, which was another bonus.
Oh, 100%. I never
definitely
had to
use those. Definitely use those a lot. But yeah, it is a European German spa, and the etiquette is to be nude while utilizing the services. You can wrap a towel around yourself, but it's actually considered hygienic to be using the shower. Well, obviously the showers, the saunas and things like that without any clothes on. So
I think it's actually considered unhygienic to be wearing swimwear.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's considered more hygienic to be nude.
So it is not clothing optional. It is clothing forbidden, basically, beyond certain thresholds. So like if you're going to use this space, just be aware. If you've never been to a European spa before, that is something else to keep in mind. Culture shock is a hell of a thing, but I honestly, like, it didn't bother us that much. And obviously this is an adults only area. So like, it's not intended for families to come up here and like chill. Yeah. It is a space where adult material may be presented.
Another pro tip is there is a cold water dispenser inside the spa. Yes. So if you're willing to try out the culture, you can get water for free, which is hard to come by in Europe as well. And I was able to like refill our water bottles at least once with that. So
tap water is free, but
it's not really recommended to drink either.
Yes.
Okay. I think I don't know what we'll include from Hagedal because, of course, you're not allowed to bring a camera into a spa where people are not wearing clothes, and we did not. Definitely don't do that.
I genuinely can't. I feel like maybe we filmed like a minute of it, but like we didn't cover a lot because this was stuff.
To be clear, we filmed like a minute of like this area.
Oh yeah. Sorry, no. Yeah. Cameras did not cross the line where.
Yes. And
clothing was
I
prohibited.
filmed like a little bit of a review of my experience inside the spa. It may not make it into the video, which is why I wanted to talk about it here. But anyway, I was very like surprised by, I just decided, I was like, whatever, I'm here, I'm on vacation, let's just do it. And I actually thought it was a very pleasant experience, but certainly not for everyone who's not comfortable with it. And if you're not comfortable with it, might not be worth extra money for you. But
well, say this. If you're not 100% sure that you're going to be comfortable in that environment, but you're maybe 50% interested, don't pay for the sofa, pay for the lounger. Just go up there for 12 to 15 euros and sit and see what you think. If you want, you can come back and do a lounger or a sofa the next time for 50 euro and have more space to spread out. I think the sofa was great for us because it also, like, 25 euro a head, basically. It covered 2 people. Yeah. So it was perfect, and it gave us access to all this cool stuff. And
honestly, like, I feel like if I was a local, I would probably, I wish they would give you like yeah, like, I think I would do like 2 days at Rulantica, and I would do like a Haigadal chill day and like maybe get like a spa service done. And then I would do like a let's just have fun in the pools day or something. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Like it was, I really enjoyed it. I even just loved sitting at the sofa looking out at the view, because you do feel like you're in this like secret cave. It was so pretty and relaxing. Yeah, just definitely recommend if you are an adult with no little ones to look after.
So, pros of Rulantica versus the cons of Rulantica. And if you were part of the Europa Park live stream, you will likely remember that we really had to stretch to come up with some cons. It was a little easier with Rulantica because there's some things we'll talk about, but there's many more pros than cons. Cleanliness and recyclable materials. This is more of a German/European thing than it is like a park thing.
Like a Europa thing.
Yeah,
for sure.
They take care to keep areas clean. There was virtually no trash. I think the Snorri cup is the first thing that I ever saw that had like the potential to make more of a mess. But for the most part, when you order a drink, they're handing you like a glass cup that you have to return or that you're responsible for taking away and dealing with.
I think that might have been one of the reasons actually why they use, now that I'm thinking about it, why they used the freestyle in the water park, because they weren't handing out glass at all, because glass is dangerous.
No, they were at the swim up bar at Summer Pool, because that's how I drank my Coke, was out of a glass. Right. And then I had to return that glass.
But I don't think inside the main area they were using glass.
Correct.
I think it was mostly
because if it goes down to the bottom of the pool, that's a huge
But you were whatever, same with Europa, whatever you were using, like you get like our pizza was served like on a big pan that we returned.
Yep.
With silverware that we returned. About the only thing that we threw away was napkins.
For the most part, nothing is plastic or paperware.
Yeah.
To the extent that they were capable. And so for the most part, as a result of that, like you don't see the kind of like trash lying around or like, you know, used silverware or cutlery that's like sitting and the trash cans like don't get full either, because there's not as much trash being generated.
Yep. Nothing
spills out. So huge perk.
As I said on the Europa Park live stream, I just really enjoy sustainability in a large theme park where a lot of guests are coming through every day. So I think it's great, and I wish more parks did it.
And also for the sake of just talking about cleanliness too, and Rulantica specifically, showers everywhere. So easy to come by. If you are done for the day, you do not have to walk far to rinse off and towel off and get all your stuff.
The locker rooms were large, had plenty of showers. They had hair dryer, like a whole hair dryer station.
Yep.
It was very cool.
Yep. Park app. It's the same park app that you would use for Europa Park. It's just you toggle over to the Rulantica side of it. It was super easy to use in the park. It's also super easy to use at Rulantica. Same system. Tap an attraction, it tells you the wait time. The wait times are more or less accurate. They are
I felt like they were
dead on, not like a little more or a little less for the most part. And if something is closed, it will update as closed pretty quickly.
Yep.
You can also map to an attraction. Rulantica is not as big as Europa, obviously, but like if you have trouble finding something, you can map to an attraction, and it will kind of track your GPS.
Yep.
So that was handy. Yep, 25 plus attractions. I got the number right. So variety, something for everyone. Again, a lot of the slides and quote unquote attractions are attached to that outdoor gymnasium, but even so, there was so much to do inside. As I say, missed the wave pool entirely. There was like an aqua obstacle course and like a smaller slide attached to like a big ship that we didn't get to do. I got like shots of it, but I don't have us doing it because we didn't. So like, there's so much to do. You're not going to do it all in one day, no matter who you are or what your slide level is.
Doubt you could be bored.
But there's something for everyone.
Yep.
Cons, short list. The greenhouse effect. This was probably the most brutal thing about Rulantica.
and I don't really know what there is to do about it because it's an indoor enclosed water. It was so hot. Like when we got there, the problem was like it was already kind of warm as soon as we stepped in the building because you could already kind of feel that greenhouse effect. And then we had to find our locker, and then we got out of our clothes and into the bathing suits, and then we walked in, and we wanted to get our bearings a little bit, find Hagedal where we were going to leave our stuff, and then we had to do like an intro that we were here. And by the time we finally got to I was like, I need to get it in the water now or I will melt. I'm so hot.
It was the worst while we were eating lunch because at that point the sun is at its highest point.
Yeah.
And it has had time to build up heat inside the main build. And like when you're in the water, you don't notice it as much. Like you're genuinely.
It's when you're walking around.
When you're walking around between attractions, indoor more so than outdoor, it is so humid that while we were sitting there eating our food, I was like weeping sweat. Like it was just redonkulous. And as Katie said, like there's not a whole lot they can do about it because that is just how it is.
And it was also just, I think, even kind of uncharacteristically hot for Germany too.
Yes,
like
they were going through a heat wave.
They were having,
which may become more common over time, but as of this year, it was an anomaly.
Record-breaking heat waves can you have before it just is like
before the record is the standard?
Yeah, new normal.
So that is one drawback, but I would say if you're planning on being in the pools most of the day, it's going to be a non-issue most of the time.
I would love to go back in like a winter or the colder months and see what the difference is. Because it might be the same. It might just be because they have the heat on instead.
Yeah,
and it's miserable,
and I think less crowded, even though there is a lot to do inside.
Yeah.
But speaking of that, there is no real slow season because it's a year-round park. So summertime is obviously peak season, but we waited in longer lines for Rulantica slides than we did for Europa Park rides. And some of that was due to personal choice. We only had one day at Rulantica, whereas we had 3 at Europa. So if something had a long line at Europa, we could be like, maybe we do this tomorrow.
Yeah.
And at Rulantica, we were like, we really want to do this slide. I think we just got to suck it up. And I will also say that a lot of the longer lines were for the raft rides. And that is mostly because
the big popular slides.
People would line up unprepared with singles or trios and not be able to split up or combine or so on and so forth. Like there was always congestion at the top of the staircase.
Yeah.
So it took longer, I think, to load on those ones. And there were some attractions that had longer lines than others. But I will say, as compared to, say, Disney Universal, definitely perfectly reasonable.
Yeah.
There's no fast pass at Rulantica. There is a virtual line at Europa, but it's only good for 6 attractions. So for the most part, you look at the line, you judge how much time you're going to spend in it. The line wait times posted are pretty accurate. You decide whether it's worth it, and then you move on. Upcharges were mostly for things like the Snorri VR experience, which I thought looked weird, and I didn't want to do it.
It was like you put on a waterproof VR headset, and you're like submerged in a pool. Like
and you snorkel.
I was getting like 11 vibes from Stranger Things. It was like kind of weird, but you can do it if you want to. We didn't care for
And
it.
also, obviously Hagedal costs extra if
Right.
you want to do that. But
There's
that
also
I would recommend.
There's also other
That I
upgrades for like
endorse.
cabanas and things like that. So you could end up spending more money than you'd think.
As I say, I think we spent €85 over the course of the day. That was on food and upcharge attractions and my snorri cup. So all together, which we can count as merch, which is kind of what I was doing because I took it away as a souvenir instead of eating it. So overall, I would say like you can have a cheap day, you can have an expensive day. It all depends on how many times you tap that band.
Yep.
Now, did you have anything else to say about Rulantica before we move on?
Just one more con, I guess.
Okay.
You should bring your own towels.
Oh,
they do have like towels to purchase, I think.
But they don't have free towels.
But they don't have free towels to use. So as someone who is traveling from the US, I had to pack towels to bring to the water park. So just keep that in mind.
That's a con, but it's also might be kind of the price of operating.
It's not really a con. It's more like an FYI, but it was the only place I remembered to throw it in.
Yeah. Cool. So Rulantica will have its own vlog. We did a full day there, and we mostly stuck it out until I don't think we stayed until absolute close because we wanted to go to dinner, which is something we'll talk about in just a second. But we did stay. We got there pretty close to open at like 9:30, and then went until about 8. So we were there for a while, and we have plenty of material from everything we did that day. So it will have its own vlog. What will not have its own vlog is the time that we spent at the Europa Park hotels. There is a travel vlog out already that kind of illustrates our experience at the Hotel Bell Rock, which is where we spent the entirety of our stay at Europa. We did one stay. This is what this means. So one stay at Europa Park's Bell Rock Hotel, which is pretty close to the park itself. But we had 3 meals at other hotels. Well, technically, no, sorry, 3 meals, including the Bell Rock. So 2 other hotels. We did 3 different hotels.
At 2 other, we were inside or did something at 2 other hotels.
Correct. Yeah. That's what I was after. Yeah. So the Bell Rock is a northeastern, New England. Yeah. New England themed resort. So if you thought you were getting away from the United States to stay in a European resort, think about. But it's beautiful. It was beautiful. Absolutely. Our room was fabulous. The resort property was fabulous. It has a pool, an indoor-outdoor pool, plenty of capacity. It has just about everything that you could possibly imagine being fun for a vacation hotel, apart from a spa, but we'll get to that as well. Yeah. So we stayed, I think, 5 nights in the Bell Rock. And honestly, like the room was not that expensive. This is our room, and the only thing that is different, this is an image from the website. So our room we covered in the actual travel blog, which is out now. But the only thing that's really different about this room as compared to ours is that we didn't have that window and that little
We also had boat bunk beds.
Yes, we had interesting bunk beds for the kids we didn't have.
Yeah.
It was a standard comfort room, I believe it was. And it was definitely themed with the 2 rowboats. But more than anything, it was just comfortable and cozy.
It was very comfortable.
We had that plate of fruit and the bottle of water that you see on the table. That did come with our room. Like that was served to us. Like when we walked in, it was fresh fruit on a platter and then like a bottle of.
We ate the fruit throughout the week. I think I had a pear with me that I think I finally ate on our last night of our
and
stay.
I ate a banana the day we left.
Yeah.
So like we did go through the fruit.
Yeah.
There was no fridge in this room.
No.
So that was something to be aware of if you book like a standard and or comfort room, as it's called. That is going to be something you'll have to contend with, is not having a place to store food. But honestly, like we didn't take away food pretty much at all.
No, we tried not to do that at all. Like I don't think we really ever took away food unless we were.
I don't know if this is true, and any Germans or Europeans that are watching this post-mortem can comment and let me know if I'm incorrect. But I have always understood the culture to be that you order, for the most part, only what you're going to eat in one sitting, because I've perceived it as rude to send food back or
Take a
ask for
doggy
a
bag.
doggy bag there, which is a takeaway bag in the US. So we, for the most part, were splitting meals so that we didn't have any leftovers. It really wouldn't have mattered because we didn't have a fridge in the room anyway. So like we couldn't have taken anything away at Europa, but we didn't really need to because that was our attitude going into every
Could have
meal.
bought like popcorn, I guess, and brought it back to the room, but nothing that needed to be
The
stored.
bathroom was immaculate. The shower actually did have a door, which you don't always get in European hotels. So the shower door actually closed and kept the heat in, which was nice. The bathroom was separated from the toilet, which the toilet had its own little mini sink. So this room, apart from the fact that you had mad jet lag and insomnia and didn't get the best sleep ever, like it was a perfect room.
It has nothing to do with yes, the fish tacos. It had nothing to do with the comfort of the room. It had everything to just do with jet lag. But even as I laid awake at night, I knew the bed was very comfortable.
And we had a little veranda too, with a little table and some lounge. Like it was a beautiful space. And I truly, even though like my American brain thinking like when I walk into this hotel that's themed around America, I was like, I didn't really think about that. I should have chosen one that was a little bit more adventurous. It's still beautiful. Like it's an absolutely, I don't regret staying here in the slightest. This was an amazing room.
Nope. No regrets.
There's, I think, 2 or 3 restaurants total at the Bell Rock, and 2 of them are the same restaurant, but they flip over to different experiences between breakfast and dinner.
One of the restaurants is like a 2-star Michelin or 2 Michelin star restaurant.
That's the dinner.
We did not eat there, so don't ask us about that.
But it's the same. It is the same space. It's just like not the restaurant is different. Yeah. Breakfast is served in that Michelin star restaurant, but it's like casual attire, do whatever you dress however you like in the morning. We went down unshowered and gross several mornings in a row, and the breakfast that we had there, sorry, that's the bar. I'm jumping ahead a little bit. The breakfast that we had there, so good. Every day is a buffet. It was wonderful. It was fabulous.
So delicious.
And it had so many options. Like it was, I think, the best breakfast
it was my favorite breakfast of all the
consistently over the course of our stay.
And we stayed at 2 different Phantasialand hotels after that, and then one fancy Cologne
a 5-star hotel in Cologne. But this was by far the best breakfast.
Those pancakes were honestly delicious. I loved the fried egg. Oh, looking at this plate makes me sad that I'm not having that breakfast anymore. It's like a sunny side up egg, Zoe.
But like perfectly prepared.
So they would prepare, like they had like one of those little metal circle things that people can make like perfectly sized pancakes in, but were cracking the eggs right on top of it. And some of them they were making fried. So the one like kind of right next to us in the picture on the left is a fried egg. So they would flip it so that it would be fried on both sides. But Tim and I love a runny egg. So the sunny side up eggs were where we wanted to be.
Oh no, they definitely had like the yolk still visible. It was
still
awesome.
runny.
So we did not get to go to the Silver Lake City, which is like the campgrounds that has a brand new restaurant. It looked so enticing and so good, but it was a little bit further from our hotel that we would have had to take a shuttle bus to get there, and we just didn't have the time.
It's definitely going on the list.
It was more a crime of convenience than it was a crime of not actually wanting to go out there. But I heard that it was good, and we would have done it if we had more time.
It was definitely recommended by multiple people before we went. So it's a bummer we couldn't make it happen this time.
This was your lunch, your presidential tea, which was very much a lunch at Bar St. Louis or Spirit of St. Louis bar.
That was when we first got in.
Yes, the bar has pretty flexible hours. It's open from I think like noon to like 10 p.m.
Yeah.
So when we got in at 2 p.m., the other restaurant, which was Michelin star, we wouldn't have been great for that anyway. But
no, I want to comment on Zoe's orange egg. The egg. So you said, Zoe, the eggs look more orange. When an egg is like more farm fresh, it actually has a more orange look. Like our grocery store eggs just aren't as fresh.
I don't know.
Never
eat eggs on vacation until this trip.
Like
it was so good.
When I get farm fresh eggs from like my aunt back in the day, they were always that orange color, and they were like really, the yolk was like really raised up. So that's all.
They were good.
They were delicious.
I had eggs every morning. So, anywho's, your presidential tea at the bar was, I think, like €24. Like, it wasn't the cheapest thing on the menu.
It was not super cheap, but
it came with all that. And then, we went to Spirit of St. Louis, I think, 3 times over the course of our stay because it was the most flexible, easy to access, and they always had availability.
Yeah.
Most everyone in there spoke fluent English, so we didn't have any trouble ordering, although we did try our best to order in German when we could. I had this massive this is all part of our travel vlog, which is already out if you're interested in looking at this, but I had this massive sandwich that was absolutely exceptional. And then you had the presidential tea. Yeah. We came back again and had dinner and completely different, and so many options. Of course, there are drinks there too. But this is where, obviously, with the Coke theme on the left, or the Coca-Cola theme, I did find Coca-Cola Zero pretty liberally, and they did give me like a glass with ice in it.
Yeah, and this is where I got like the 50th, not this with the tea, but I got like the 50th anniversary of Europa Park cocktail that they had like in various places, and it was delicious.
So the monorail did not connect to Bell Rock. We would have had to walk to I can't remember what it is, Al something or other. Andaluz. In order to pick it up.
Which is not far.
It's not far, but it was so hot. Like by the time we were done with the park for the day, it would have been really, really taxing to go back, change clothes, and then go back out. I don't know. It was, again, like just a crime of convenience. However, if it's being expanded currently to reach Rulantica and anything else,
that's great news.
That's the next time we visit, it's going to be a much more viable option. However, I think next time we'll try to stay at a different resort anyway, not because we didn't love Bell Rock, but because
we just want a different experience.
Yeah. So that's good to know.
Thanks for the tips. We can't wait to go back.
Zoe, you mentioned we should have had hamburgers. So part of the allure for us of staying at the Bell Rock is that the walk to the resort, to Europa Park, was only
5 minutes.
4 or 5 minutes. It was 4 or 5 minutes in the blazing heat. So as I said, it would be a number of steps to go an extra however many from the park gate then to the, what was it? Andaluz. I'm sorry, my brain is fried. It's been a long week and it's only Tuesday. So on the way there is this lovely little hamburger stand. It's like a trailer and it looks like it's expanding. So while we were there, they were doing construction to expand it. Yeah, it was
like a permanent food truck almost it was like a shipping container, but
awesome. Yeah. So they had
burgers.
Flatbreads, pizzas, and smash burgers pretty much. And we, on our way back one day, we were like, we got to get a hamburger. We're in Germany. So it's not in any vlog. It was something that we did, I think, on our 3rd day when we were camera free. But I did have this amazing burger there. And I think you had another amazing burger of your own too. Different kind. But
I cannot remember what was on my burger now. I just remember that I was so tired and so hungry and I just ate it.
It was real, everything that we had was so fresh. But
that bun's patties, like a brioche bun.
The brioche bun, the garlic spread, it was a masterpiece. And then on the right there, you'll see one of the amenities of the Bell Rock in particular. As we're walking back, there is actually this foot bath or foot rinse.
Yeah.
That is kept to
it's pretty cold.
It was cold.
It's a cold water rinse.
It was deliberately isolated so that it would be cold water even on the hottest day. And so Katie, I think on your 2nd or 3rd day, went over and checked it out, and it's got instructions this is to increase circulation and heal your feet after walking around.
It felt good to take your shoes off and walk around in the ice cold water. I think it's It's not like blocked off for Bell Rock guests. Like I think
No, anyone can use
I
it's an
think
amenity,
actually,
so anyone can use it.
Yeah, but I think like it was
It's-
dedicated to like the people of Roost or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I think like if you're in the area, you can come use it.
It is,
but it is
smack
very close
next to the Bell Rock. Like
though.
it is right outside the gate to enter the Bell Rock. So for us in particular, like it was, I counted among the amenities of the hotel.
Oh yeah, no, I would too. I'm just saying like you don't have to have like a room key to get to it.
Yeah. So for many reasons, I think we can recommend the Bell Rock as a hotel because of proximity, because of amenities, because of comfort, and because of all the things you can do on the way to the park. Yeah. But we visited other hotels too. This is the monorail that, I'm sorry if I pronounce your name wrong. I'm assuming it's
Iya?
Iya? You can correct me. I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing. But this is the monorail that you were talking about. This is the EP monorail or express monorail. It runs through the park, but it only runs through certain platforms in the park, and then it links back to the hotels. There's another monorail in the park that does not connect
more like
to the
a
hotels.
ride.
Yeah, it's more of a transport ride. So this monorail, as of now, does not connect with Bell Rock, which is a thing to know. But if it's expanding, it might someday. This is the hotel that was the original hotel, and it is Mexican themed. It's right across the street from Coliseo, which we didn't get to visit, but is probably the most popular of the Europa Park hotels. And this hotel was the original that is built right in, like into the park. Like
there's
you can
like
walk right into the park through the restaurant
that we went to that will like connect to the, like you can see the park through the windows. Yep. So like through those like kind of blown out windows is the park.
Yep.
So
you can make reservations for all the restaurants in any of the hotels, but as it turns out, we didn't really need to because the capacity wasn't crazy on any given day. We walked up on this restaurant, and it was a short walk from our hotel to this hotel. Fortunately, as the sun was going down, because it was still blazing hot, but we made it inside, and we were surprised once we made our way in to see, like, looking through, because we hadn't spent any time in this hotel. We looked through the windows of this restaurant as we entered it, and we were like, that's the park. The train is going by. And, like, you can literally walk from this restaurant out into the park. With the sculptures.
Yes, there was a sculpture garden. Yep.
Yep, that tracks. So if they're still expanding, then we might see some
of the sculptures we liked better than others. There was this one of like a man.
Two.
Yeah, there were two, but when you rounded the corner, he was like standing right there, and it was like, oh, jump scare.
He's intimidating.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's sculpture garden.
I did like the sculpture garden.
So we did dine at this restaurant in the. You're gonna just have to say it every time.
Andalus.
What? Just get used to saying it.
Now I'm scared. I've been saying it wrong.
I'm giving you a job, and it's your job, so take pride in it. We had a lovely meal at the Don Quixote restaurant.
Yeah, Don Quixote.
That is the 50th anniversary drink.
No, that's not a drink. That was the dessert.
Dessert?
The rice
50th
pudding.
anniversary dessert. You're right. It is a rice pudding. The drink that we had was horchata, which is in no way associated with the 50th anniversary celebration, but was excellent. And then that's food on the left. Like everything
it was tasty.
Was fresh. It was excellent. It was tasty. It was well prepared. And everything came so fast at all the restaurants across all the hotels and Europa Park itself. So like they take pride in their cooking, which they should because it's excellent. We also made it over to Hotel Kronosar, which is directly adjacent Rulantica. You do have to walk, if you're not staying at the hotel and therefore can't use the bridge that you see there that connects directly to the hotel, you do have to walk all the way around to get back inside the hotel.
Or at least we did. If we didn't have to do that,
it's true. We could have done something wrong, but we didn't.
That's how we ended up. We had to walk past where like the shuttle dropped us off and then back into the hotel.
It does look a little bit like Portofino from the outside. From the inside, it's very different. It is Kronosar, I believe, is the newest hotel, not the newest area associated with the hotels, but the newest full construction, and it's known as the Museum Hotel.
Yeah.
So we ate. I'm trying to think what the bar was.
I thought it was Bar Kronosar.
It might be Bar Kronosar. I don't recall that being 100% accurate. I'm not going to hold to that. Don't
Yep.
quote us. But the bar inside is directly adjacent the main lobby, which is just ginormous. And I think I have a slide after this that has a picture of the lobby sculpture. But the food and the drink that we had in there was stupendous. They told us, and this is something that we're going to talk about as part of our cons, that after a certain hour, we came direct from Rulantica, so it's 8 p.m., and around 7 p.m., they do cut the menu for the kitchen down considerably, and they only have quote-unquote small plates left. The plates we consumed were actually quite large. We ordered 3 thinking they were small.
We were trying to order like 2 on, like I was going to get fish and chips and you were going to get some sort of sandwich, and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, we're down to our small plates. And we're like, oh, well, how small are they? And they were like, oh, pretty small. So we each ordered 1 small plate, and the waiter kind of looked at us like, and I was like, is that going to be enough food? And he's like, I don't know. And then I was like, okay, 1 more thing. So then we got 3 things, and we definitely didn't eat 3 things. We would have been fine with 2.
I mean,
but we ate it.
We came very close to finishing. Like we did.
No, we finished it. We just didn't get dessert.
Oh yeah.
We were thinking we might get dessert.
Oh, you said we didn't need 3 plates.
Yes.
Not we didn't eat 3 plates.
Yes, we didn't need
3 plates.
But this was where Yannick, our new abroad bestie, just had recommended go to this bar and order the Rulantica Splash cocktail. That was my favorite drink I think I had on the whole trip. It was delicious.
Not mine because it was not a particularly. I'm a sweet drinks kind of guy.
It was sweet but not too sweet, and it was very floral. It had like gin and berries in it, and they actually gave me like a big toothpick to like eat the berries out of it when I was done. It was so refreshing. It was served in this like big wine glass. It was beautiful. I'm sure I took a picture, but Tim said I didn't take the right kind of picture, so he couldn't put it in the slideshow.
Put the onus on me, why don't you?
Apparently, I'm supposed to only take horizontal pictures.
Not only.
No, only horizontal.
We will talk about your photo taking etiquette after the live stream.
Only horizontal photos. But it was delicious.
She's devastated it didn't make it into the slideshow.
Yannick recommended it. It was delicious, and I highly recommend it as well if you are of age to partake.
I think if you're not of age, which is an interesting thing to comment on, like you can go into any of these bars and have a meal because there's tons of kids in the Spirit of St. Louis at most of the times we visited. But the bars obviously have a stash of some really good drinks and really good liquors, and so if you're of age, it's a more
and to be clear, I'm pretty sure that I believe in Germany the drinking age is different. I will also say that we were never ever carded or anything like that, so I guess we looked well above the age, or maybe that's not
it's 18. So.
Yeah. So
another hotel will come to Rulantica soon. We'll expand Rulantica twice.
Oh, I'm excited to see what the new hotel will be. I really did like the look of the Kronosar.
Yeah,
it was really. I kind of like that it had like a fishing village kind of feel to it. But then when you went inside, it was the museum hotel.
I guess I didn't include a picture of Kronosar in the slideshow. So. It is known as the museum hotel, and I think it probably came down to the same thing that Rulantica came down to, where like the picture was vertical and I couldn't make it fit. So it's a museum hotel, and it is known as thus because it has so many scaled exhibits
and
that
artifacts.
are like it's so weird and cool. Like they've got like a giant skeleton spiraling all the way up to the tippy top of the hotel
a magical
lobby.
Map.
There was a map of Rulantica because it is the Rulantica associated or adjacent hotel. So cool. This is what I thought. Beer 16 plus, liquor 18.
Yeah. So that's why I just said of age.
Good to know. All right. So we're going to somewhat close it out here by touching on the pros and cons of the hotels the way we did for Rulantica. So pros of the hotels, and this is mostly for our stay at the Bell Rock, but some things apply to the other hotels and the experiences that we had, like eating or walking around there. Same thing as Rulantica and Europa. Everything was spotless. They were constantly cleaning, scrubbing. The bathrooms were immaculate at all 3 hotels we visited. So I could live there for months and feel perfectly at home. It was so nice.
Yep.
Comfort, cozy and cool. Not every building in Europa, let alone the rest of Europe, is air conditioned, but all the hotels are. They are very, very comfortable.
And our room at
Our
Belrock
room
was very comfortable.
had like the best, most efficient air conditioner. Like walking in from the blazing heat to go into our room where it's like nice and cool. Like it felt so good. They're also very, very comfortable. Like the accommodations, the beds. We had a friend who stayed at Andalus and was commenting that the beds were a little bit firmer than she liked. Said that it was like sleeping on a hard plastic, and that is not in line with my experience at the Belrock at all. So I can't say definitively whether or not that was hyperbole. But I will say, like, I prefer a little bit of a firmer mattress, and I thought that the Belrock was in no way too hard, but also not too soft. Like, it was perfectly comfortable.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that carries over to the other resorts, but let's assume for right now that it does, and that I'm recommending all the resorts to you because they're all comfortable and cool. The amenities, especially at the Belrock, where we got to use them the most, were unbelievable. The pool was great. The breakfast, as we already talked about,
such a good breakfast.
Some of the best food we had, and it was included, like as part of our hotel rate. If you're German or European watching this live stream and you're not aware, that is not a given at any United States hotel or resort property. In fact, the more expensive a resort is, the less likely it is to include breakfast, which is so counterintuitive. In Europe, I know it's a little bit more standardized that, like, if you're staying at a hotel, you get breakfast the following day. Not all hotels are like that for sure, but...
And it's not always like that. Sometimes you do have to, like, pay for the breakfast too, but...
Or you get a voucher,
but,
or,
breakfast is not included at, like, any American Disney resort or Universal resort.
It's also not always guaranteed to be good. Like, you could have a breakfast buffet that's, like, guaranteed, and then you're like, you know... We have a chain here, the Hampton Inn, that like almost always when you stay at a Hampton Inn, you get a free breakfast. So a lot of us choose to stay there. However, the breakfast is disappointing. You wake up every morning and you're like, oh yay, Fruit Loops in curdled milk. So the breakfast that we had at all the hotels across our trip, but at Europa Park in particular, is so memorable as being like so good. Yeah. So much variety. All the coffee was like they prepared in a pot.
Oh, the coffee was delicious.
Pot directly to your table. Like, it was amazing. And of course the eggs, which I had plenty of. The laundry service we did use once, and that was €45 for quite a few pieces of clothing.
Like we put what we wanted to in the laundry bag, and we had to do laundry because it was so like there was no way to like rewear certain articles.
We brought enough clothes for the 2-week trip, but we were planning on rewearing some of them, and like after less than half a day, like our clothes were ruined consistently by the heat.
They could not.
We had to. We did have to do some laundry, as Katie said, and that service was so wonderful. They gave us a bag. Go ahead. You can tell them. No, I know this is your favorite story.
No, but they gave us like a brown paper bag and we filled it up, and I was like, I don't think we're supposed to like fill it more than that. So then you dropped off at the bag at concierge. And then
they actually, in answer to this question, they asked us how soon we needed it back because they're not guaranteed back to you within the same 24 hours. However, I said like anytime before like tomorrow night or the next morning would be fine. We're going to need them by, day 2. And they said that shouldn't be a problem. Yeah. We'll let you know if it's going to be any longer than that. Yeah. And that was the last I heard from them for a while. We went back on the 3rd day, which was, day 2 after I had dropped the laundry off, because that was around the time that they were supposed to have prepared it. And I went to concierge and I was just checking, like, because I don't know the protocol, like, is it coming to our room? Like, do we need to come back here and pick it up? And the desk agent that I spoke to said, as of now, like, I see that your laundry is still in progress. So let me check on it. If it is ready, I will bring it to your room. If it is not ready, I will let you know. I will give you a call and then you can come pick it up here when it is ready. But what wound up happening is that, like, maybe an hour later, we just got like a tap on our door, like, hello, room service, or not room service,
Housekeeping.
and now you can tell your favorite part.
Well, they brought the same bag back that we brought, gave to them, and everything was folded so nicely. Like, I haven't seen clothes folded this nicely in like a store where they sell clothing. It was immaculate. Even my socks were like paired up and folded. It was.
And they paired. You had one pair
I had
of
like
socks,
a pair of mismatched socks.
Yeah, that they identified as like these probably go together.
And I was like, oh, they knew I had
like some thought was put into it and some care. And I will also say, like, when I dropped off the laundry, they did ask, like, is there anything that can't be dried? Is there anything that needs to be dry cleaned or hung or, you know, et cetera? And so just to, I don't know if I told you this, to make it simple, I was just like, just hang dry the shirts, which is probably part of why it took so long.
Right.
Because some stuff we don't like to tumble dry and other stuff we like, it's fine, but I didn't want to have them decide, like, this is probably what he meant by the black shirt with purple on it. So I just said, like, shirts you could hang and everything else you could tumble, and it all came back so beautiful.
Nothing.
It's not a free service, and it's not necessarily a cheap service, but for, I mean, really for the level of care that was provided, like, I think I got my money.
And
worth.
Usually with laundry service, you pay per like article of clothing.
Yeah,
so,
which is what happened.
Shirts were €3 or whatever, something like that.
Quality food, amazing and available. That goes for all the meals we had, including breakfast, but also the meals that we had at Kronosar, the meal that we had at Andalus,
at Don Quixote.
I should have just said Don Quixote. It's much easier. And then all the food that we had at Spirit of St. Louis Bar, which was multiple different meals. There's only one meal at any given hotel in any vlog as of this moment in time. And that is the travel vlog, which again is out now. If you're interested in checking it out, that would be our Spirit of St. Louis bar. But it was amazing. Like, the food was so good. And I know a lot of people that we talked to, including Yannick, all said, like, the food is actually better at Phantasialand, which was the next leg of our trip. We did have some great food there, but I will say, like, we had some great food at Europa.
We did still have great food at Europa. Wonderful food.
Laundry in German hotels often
goes overnight
to Poland because it's cheaper. Interesting.
That's really interesting. I don't know if we can't confirm or deny whether that was the case, but that's actually a really cool fun fact.
Poland is a little further from Rus than it is from other areas in central Germany. I think, if my geography isn't horrible, which sometimes it is. So I don't know for sure that was the case for Europa, because I feel like they asked a lot of questions.
I didn't care about Europa Park. That's really interesting, though.
That would be. I mean, it wouldn't make a huge difference to me as long as my clothes
as long as the clothes came back, and they definitely did.
Transport. So apparently, based on the new information we've got, the monorail might be expanding, which would make it even easier to get from place to place. As of now, there is a shuttle that connects all the resort hotels to the two parks, Rulantica and Europa Park. We did not need the transport to get to Europa Park. It was super easy. Rulantica was much further away, so we did need to take the bus. In a few years, yes. Asterisk, but yes. So the shuttle was super easy. It's free.
The shuttle schedule is posted right out front of your hotel.
It's about every 15 minutes. Like, it just goes around in a consistent loop for about 12 hours. I'm sure they switched the drivers out, but like, that bus just never stops moving.
Yeah.
So it's like every 13 to 15 minutes, the bus will come and pick up, and it will pick up for the most part right in front of the hotel. But there are stops clearly marked on the map if you're having a hard time finding it. And I think we would have gone to more hotels if we had realized how easy it was going to be to take the bus back and forth. But we also stayed in the park until close, and then sometimes we were beat. We just wanted to hang out.
My lack of good sleep did kind of limit me after about park close time, where I just was like, just feed me and put me to bed. But I would like the opportunity to see more of the hotels next time we go.
I'm guarantee you hotels. This will not be our last trip to Europe.
Can't be. It was too good.
It was too good. And the shuttle made it super easy. Early access I think was our last thing. There could be one more, but this is, you get half an hour early entry into the park. Only certain attractions are open at Europa during the early morning hours. However, a lot of the really good ones are on that.
It's a great time to get
Piraten in Batavia, Blue Fire, Wodan.
Yes.
Wodan's not open with early access, but you can get in line for Wodan before anyone else gets into the park. So when it opens at 9 a.m. sharp,
we also were already in the park and got on the river raft ride a lot earlier than some other people, because it was so hot, the water attractions were busy.
Yes,
were very busy.
Same for Atlantica Super Splash.
Yeah.
Cons. Oh wait.
Yes. We learned that on our first day. That was so exciting. We had no idea. They were like, "Do you want to do it?" And we were like, we need to stay awake for another few hours, so we should.
We did.
It was great.
It's not technically, this will destroy some of the narrative of the second day, but we did actually go into the park for an hour before we hit the park running for our first full day the next day, and we did knock out Blue Fire on our first day. So that was a great start to our trip.
It was nice to kind of be like, okay, this is how we get to the park entrance from the Bell Rock. This is how close it is. This is what the entrance looks like. This is what's available to us immediately when we get.
I think that's the only ride we did on our first in that hour. Oh no, we did Euromere.
We did Euromere. Yeah.
We did Euromere. So we did a couple of things.
I think we did a couple of things. We didn't document it, so I can't remember exactly.
And we were both sleep deprived at that time. I caught up after that, but. Yeah, that bonus hour, that is something you'll never get at an American park.
No.
that was incredible.
Very cool.
Cons of the hotels. So when we say early closures, this is from an American perspective, because from a German perspective, the bars are actually open quite late as compared to other restaurants. The park closed at 6 or 7 most days.
When we were there.
We
know that there were extended summer hours a couple weeks after. I think happening maybe even now. I don't know.
I believe they're into summer hours now. But when we went, it was closure at 6 or 7, and we didn't ever get to see the park after dark, which was a shame, but also we got a lot done, so it's fine. In United States, bars are some of the last things to close at any given theme park or restaurant. They tend to stay open until ridiculous hours like 12 midnight or 2 in the morning. It's inconvenient in some ways, but in other ways, like if you come back from the park and if you're staying up late, you go to the pool, you always have a place to go eat afterwards. In this particular circumstance at this resort, we had to watch the clock to make sure we didn't miss dinner. Because we would come home from the park, we would get showered up because it was so hot, and then we'd have to rush to the bar if we wanted to get something to eat before close.
And sometimes, to make it clear, it's because the kitchen was closing and our food was limited. Sometimes it would stay open later and you could still get drinks, but we need food.
To go back to the Kronosar, the bar Kronosar that we went to, we had to pick from the small plate menu because that was all they had left, and an hour after that they closed the small plate menu as well. So at that point it would have only been drinks, and you don't want to go to bed on drinks and an empty stomach if you can help it.
We sure don't. No judgment on anyone else.
Not if you have to get up and walk in the heat the next morning.
No.
So that was something to be aware of. It's not a true con in the sense of it's something you can definitely work around.
We'll pause the live for
All right,
Joey.
Hold on, everyone. We have to take 15 minutes. No, it was something that we learned to work around, and it was totally fine. But it is something if you're going to Europa Park as a traveler from a foreign country that may not have this kind of setup, you just have to learn and plan for this so that you know for sure you have the ability to eat when your day is done.
Yeah. Or you have to know.
Or you make a reservation at a restaurant.
Yeah, reservation at a restaurant, or know that okay, we're trying to leave the park by 6. Maybe we need to eat at 5:30 at one of the park restaurants or something.
Exactly.
Something like that.
All right. When I say the day spas aren't found everywhere, I mostly mean they're not found at the Hotel Bell Rock, because when we checked in, we got a sheet with all the different. You can use amenities from any resort on the Europa Park loop as a guest of any given Europa Park hotel. So they give you a list of all the amenities you can use, and that includes things like spa services. There's like a massage menu and whatnot. And it looked like it would be a fun, relaxing thing to do on our day 3 when we went for like a half day and then opted out. Yeah. That's the thing, though. We would have had to go. I think it's important to note like how oppressive the heat was when we were there. Like a 4 to 5 minute walk could leave you completely drenched in sweat, and that's not how I want to walk into a spa. So
yeah, that
was the I think the maybe it's a privileged thing to say, or we're just too spoiled, but like there was a part of me that was like, if the spa is right here, I totally want to do it. If I have to make any amount of effort, I don't want to do it. So we didn't find out until we went to inquire about where the spa was at the Bell Rock that there wasn't one. I think there is one at pretty much every other resort.
No, I think it was only the Coliseum that had one.
No, it's others. Oh. There's others that have the spa too. But yeah, and not at the Bell Rock. It is. I can tell. I'm telling you, I timed this. It is a 4-minute walk, and it is oppressively hot. Like when you're sweating through all your clothes on the way, like that's the point at which I get to my destination and I don't want to be touched. So that was one thing to bear in mind. However, you make a good point that like in normal circumstances, and if you go into the conversation or the day knowing this, you can easily make a plan to get to one of the other spots.
I'm sure there's probably
it's just something to be aware of.
Also, they probably have like showers at the spa you could use to clean yourself up, but you have to give yourself like time to do that too.
I think you're way overestimating how willing I was to jump through hoops.
No, I'm just trying to think of like other.
I'm telling you, the slightest bit of effort would discourage the idea.
I mean, the only reason you were even thinking about doing a spa treatments was because I was at my breaking point of not having slept for 4 days, and you were like, let's only do a half day at the park and then go to the spa, and it was like,
yeah, and it was a good idea, but
I wasn't like sold on that either, so it didn't end up like, let's be clear, like this did not by any stretch like ruin our time.
The cons for all of the
we're coming up, like we had to like stretch,
really stretching, so like this by no means did any of these ruin our trip or were even like things that like disrupted our day meaningfully. They're just things that like if we were picking apart, like being really critical, like these are things that I personally was like, oh man, once or twice over the course of our stay. So that's my only other thing, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the end. So
we loved the Bell Rock.
We'll wrap it up here and we'll do our creator spotlight and call it a day. But between Rulantica and the Europa Park hotels, I think another big takeaway, as opposed to the park, is that the property is so expansive and there's so much to do. If you're going to Europa Park, I highly recommend, one, allocating more than 1 day, more than 2 days. Ideally, you want to spend like 5 days on property and have one of them be a Rulantica day at the very least.
Yeah. But
there is so much to do. There is so much to explore. The hotels are beautiful, are amazingly well themed. It is a true full theme park experience that includes an additional park in the water park, as well as the themed suites and accommodations and the hotels themselves at all of the different Europa Park resorts. And as we're finding out, like they're growing and expanding all the time. There may be a new hotel coming in, maybe not. There may be monorail expansions, maybe not. I'm not party to any of that knowledge, but I will trust the commenters that are. We just had such a wonderful time at Europa Park. And I think like when we planned the trip, Europa Park was our park on the way to the other destination we wanted to make it to, which was Phantasialand. We had so many good things to say about Europa walking away from it that like we really did miss it. Like when we got in the car to leave, we were like, oh man, sad. Like I don't want to leave here. Phantasialand was awesome too, and we had a wonderful time there, and we got excited about completely different things. But like Europa Park was the whole package, and I think we were expecting it to be fun, but it wound up being incredible and amazing in ways that we couldn't even comprehend. And so we can't wait to go back.
Yeah, highly recommend.
Anywho's, every time we do a live stream, we try to do a creator spotlight because we aren't the only ones making content out there, and some of it's better than ours. So I do want to point you all towards Haley Went Where, which is an Instagram account primarily, but Haley has also been to Europa, and I don't remember how many days she spent here, but she did spend enough time to do most of the tentpole attractions and had a lot to say about it. She also, quite frankly, does a lot more traveling than we do domestically and has a lot, if you're into roller coasters and theme park content, she has a lot more to say about parks we've never been to before than we're probably ever going to get a chance to say.
Yeah.
So definitely check her out. She's a wonderful human being, and she has a great Instagram presence as well as a Threads presence. Haley Went Where. And before we jump to the next live stream.
Yes, the movie.
I love this because we literally just watched the trailer for this. And I bought the video game, which is more fun than I thought it was going to be.
I think it's supposed to be coming to American theaters August 22nd.
American theaters in dub with Gemma Arterton and Haley Atwell on August 22nd.
Yeah.
Internationally, I believe it comes out, if it's not already out, I think it comes out like this week. So definitely go check it out. It looks like a ton of fun, and the story is deeper than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I didn't know this was the story.
First animated feature film based on a theme park or theme park characters, possibly ever.
Yeah.
Because Mickey Mouse was,
Right, it's like the inverse. It's like
inverse.
You take the theme park character and you make a movie instead of making...
Yeah.
Putting
it's a real thing.
Character.
It's a movie that's going to theaters, and so anyone that is interested should definitely check it out. Our next live stream, because we try to do these bi-weekly, will be August 12th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. For anyone who is on German time or watching this on the back burner, I'm sorry. I know that's like super duper late for you all, but we hope that you will circle back and enjoy it after it broadcasts. For all of you in the United States, August 12th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, New York time. And I think that is all she wrote.
Yep.
Nice. I am excited to see it. I think we are genuinely going out to see it.
And thanks, for joining our live stream
tonight
and providing lots of helpful insight and tips.
We do not know everything,
of course,
certainly, and we are always open to learning more. So we appreciate those who are Europa Park veterans filling in the gaps. The next time we all chat, we will be doing part 3 of 3 of this trip report, and that will be primarily Phantasialand and the last leg of our trip, which was so cool. The Phantasialand vlogs will not start for a while yet because we still got Europa content to pump out, but we do have plenty. There will be a lot more to come. So thank you all so much for joining, those of you who did. If you're watching on the back burner, thank you for watching us play back and talk for almost 2 hours about nothing. But beautiful nothing. Fun nothing. Until next time, I have been Tim.
I'm Katie.
And every night
is a new adventure.
And we will see you again in 2 weeks. Bye.